Good morning. I love how it's caught me further back than that. I'm trying not to watch it because it's very disconcerting on Facebook being further behind. So what I'm going to do now is reduce that and put it over there so that I can speak to you as I'm speaking to you and know what's happening, knowing that you're at least 30 seconds behind me. So I'm opening it up on the group. Let me turn my volume down so that I don't get... That's it. Technology, isn't it amazing stuff? Right, here we go. So good morning, everybody. This is the day 2 of our Shadow Alchemy 5-day challenge, enabling people who have been in traumatized, abusive, or anyway, just downright shitty relationships to recognize where their shadow has been at play and to enable you to start to alchemize that shadow to improve your life and to work wonders with other future relationships. Now, I'm not sure if I have anybody on screen with me at the moment. And I can't tell because it doesn't tell me. So I'm just going to proceed as though I've got dozens of you listening to me in absolute and utter fascination because this stuff is fascinating. And I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you that turned up last night. It was lovely to connect. It was lovely to see some of the comments that came up, and it was quite intriguing to find the results of the actual quiz. For anyone, for the assessment, sorry. For anyone who hasn't done that assessment yet, don't feel as though it's too late. Just go, get it done and have some fun. And anybody that does complete the assessment, we are messaging you to let you know that your results, seeing as we had a minor glitch in how to post the results. Though Linda did do a fantastic job for how to work it out, but you need to remember to save your results to be able to do the comparison. So today you're going to find out what those results mean. So any of you that have got 5 and above in the prostitute, welcome to the world of the shadow consciousness of prostitute. But first, let's go. Last night we discussed, well, yesterday you were introduced to the notion of the Council of Lies, and the Council of Lies being your, now then I'm doing this and I'm not sharing it. So you'll be wondering what I'm up to. So let me just learn how to do this one again. It's not that I don't know how. Share my screen. There we go. Right. So here we go. So yesterday, Council of Lies, prostitute being number 1. And the reason that we do prostitute first is if you have any prostitute at play, and I mean any prostitute at play, then you can't get in alignment with the other 3 columns. So you can't get in alignment where the child, the victim, and the saboteur are concerned, or remove them, because if ever the prostitute comes out to play, it stops them. So the prostitute is the shadow consciousness that is about your self-esteem and your self-worth. So what are you worth to you? So so as we mentioned briefly last night, and we'll go into a little bit more depth now, on the Council of Lies, where you will find people who have a strong prostitute, who then go and live or work or play, or however you want to describe it, you will find them in such roles as a negotiating role within the workplace, where they're making people compromise, because when in your total truth, you do not compromise. You can acquiesce to other people's sovereignty, but you don't compromise. Peacemaker, calming troubled waters, making people feel better about themselves. All of this relates to, and the people pleaser, when you do something that is for others rather than for you. You're the bargainer and the moderator, and you're the one that doesn't know how to set your own worth, set your own values, and say how much you're worth. So you will have to, so the prostitute column, I'm going to slow down a little bit because I realize I'm going a little bit fast. This is what happens when I've not got somebody to actually talk to. The prostitute column is the column of safety, belonging, and self-worth. So when we're talking about safety, we've all seen the be safe, haven't we? Well, that's totally appealing to everybody's prostitute as well as victim. We're all, and it's about belonging to the tribe. So if you feel that you can't speak out and speak differently because you'll be missed and done, then that's where the belongingness comes in. And when we're talking about the tribe, we're talking about, when we talk about belonging, we're talking about in many years ago, it would be that if you didn't belong in your tribe, you were excommunicated. And that's what it used to mean, excommunicated. And when excommunicated, you were effectively as good as dead. So there was a quite valid reason at that time for that to enter the earth's consciousness for keeping your mouth shut. And it's also the stuff that will stop you asking for pay rise, time for yourself, and some fun. And I realise I've been missing out on asking and giving myself some fun recently. So just to emphasise to you folks, this shadow alchemy, we're in front on the process, but we're still in the process. We're still practicing it ourselves, Linda and I, and that's why we can get a total understanding of what it's like for other people and where they're at. So when you don't speak out because of what other people might think, so you don't say what you're thinking, again, for people pleaser. And in these times of trouble, I found myself singing a song there. In these times of trouble, it is that the people pleasers galore and the compliers with the rules and the compliers with what needs to, totally, it's about your prostitute and giving up your identity, your sense of self-worth, whatever, for the sake of safety and belonging. And the other thing that can happen with a prostitute is you stay in an unhappy marriage or partnership purely for the sake of security. Now, it's the kind where you will hear, I know of someone who recently was considering divorce, but when they found out how much it would cost them, they decided to stay with their partner. I know of because of the amount of money that they'd been earning over a period of time, that they would have had to keep their wives to the style they were accustomed to. So when you stay in that security, when you stay within that system, either for the sake of security or because of what it will cost you, you're in prostitute shadow consciousness. And it's not worth it, folks. Not worth it in the long term, because all it does is just puts you down and down and down and represses your self-worth and represses who you feel you are and depresses your self-esteem, and you end up generally just feeling shit. So, and shit is one of our favourite words and favourite terminologies, and you'll just get used to it. So prostitute. So what does the prostitute believe? So what are the beliefs that are at the back of the prostitute consciousness? And remember, all of these are lies and misinformation. These are not truths. A belief is not a truth. A belief is not a fact. A belief has never been a truth or a fact. A belief is simply a decision that was made at some time and then carried forward over and through time. So beliefs. I am not enough. I know of people in the hypnotherapy industry who have made a small fortune out of this one belief and of helping other people to recover from it. But there is more where shadow consciousness is concerned. This is just one of many beliefs that fit in with the shadow consciousness of prostitute. They believe that the shadow, when in this shadow consciousness, you may well hold the belief that others are more worthy. What a load of bollocks. Nobody's worth more than you are. You are each worthy and are gods and goddesses in your own right. If I give something, I get something back. So this is the kind of Indian giver. This is the notion of you give a compliment, you wait for one to come back. That is prostitute energy. That is to make you feel better. That is giving of yourself something when you don't really. It's different if you give it. It's different if you just say a compliment and it's just totally from the heart. I'm talking about when you expect to give one back. And we are so conditioned to giving one back at times. It's phenomenal. Or putting it down. The provider for sex. Now, in our area, and you can go, is it worth a BJ? It's a standing joke among certain couples in my circle, or previously in my circle, that it would be a standing joke that if the wife wanted something, it would be a joke, is it worth a BJ to get it? And it's the belief that you cannot afford to pay the price to be who you are. So it's the belief that if you say something, you're going to get knocked down, you're going to get criticized, you're going to get things. So you just simply keep your mouth shut for the sake of accommodating and not putting your head up above the parapet. So what does the prostitute say? Well, what would you might say to each other? you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's the kind of thing where you do a favor, but you do a favor with the expectation in return. Very much it's that's the you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, is the one that's at the back of the belief of you give and you get back. And it's one of those that when you're talking about the law of attraction, if you're doing, so it's, as an example with the, and prostitute is about the finances as well, and knowing your finances and being on top of your finances. Well, actually the opposite is the lover is the finances and being on top of your finances, but the prostitute is the one that is not on top of their finances. And it's the kind of thing that in the law of attraction, you kind of go, oh, the money flows, and so you give it out to get it back. But if you're actually giving money out in the expectation of getting back in, that is prostitute consciousness, and is likely to result in you giving it away and not getting anything back. Because at the back of it is, one is the belief that you're doing it for that reason, and two is the belief that it's not going to work, and three is the belief I'm not worthy. The prostitute will also say, what will people think? If you are worried about other people's opinions in any way, shape or form, you are in prostitute consciousness. I can't afford to upset him, her. I can't afford to move out. All of these, anything that goes, I can't afford, or even I can afford, is an element of prostitute consciousness. So think about, so as we move on for your task for today, one of the things that we're going to be asking you to do is to listen, hear when you say it to yourself, hear when other people are speaking it. We're not asking you to go around and to call everybody a prostitute today. Well, not just yet, but you can within this, or you can within this group, and you can within to each other in the kindest possible way of pointing out when somebody is in prostitute consciousness. So, and again, now notice what I've just done. I was totally in prostitute consciousness there, worrying about what you might think or how you might think, or tell each other that you do it kindly. Just do it. And the prostitute, what do? They seek approval. Constant approval for what they've done, for what they've, and they also are putting other people first. Linda has her favorite term. It's about putting yourself at the top of your to-do list. So some people don't even, if you're not on your to-do list, folks, you're in prostitute consciousness. You may also be in victim consciousness, but you're definitely in prostitute consciousness, that you don't consider yourself to be worthy to be on it. And it's the kind of thing that, what does the prostitute do? It's when the boss texts you on your time off, and you either respond or you just don't tell them not to. If you don't want them texting you, you're quite within your rights when you're not in their pay time to tell them, it's very kind of you, but please keep conversations about work to work time, or whatever it is. The prostitute will also keep working and doesn't listen to the body. So when your body says, ease off, listen down, start doing, it's that you don't consider yourself worthy. Again, it's the beliefs, it all comes back. Linda and I have a very, very strong connection with what you believe is true. I mean, Henry Ford said it, he claims it, Ryan, no, I've forgotten the name, Boyzone carried on and sang it. So there you go, folks. But what you do believe is true. Keep working and don't listen to your body, and you stay in the relation for the sake of security. And as Linda has written here, it's both tribe and financial. So it's whether it's for a sense of belonging, or it's whether it's for a sense of security. And you do that. And it's also following instructions for the sake of alleged safety. And make of that comment what you will in these COVID times. So today's task is, and it's a very simple one and a very straightforward one. It's to monitor your own language and thoughts, and then give 3 examples of where you've caught yourself in prostitute consciousness in the and consciousness lies in your interactions today. And put at least one in the comments, but put it in the comments underneath this posting, please, so that we know where to find it, and just put #day2. And then we'll know where to find you, and we'll know what to look up when we're looking it up. Okay, so really looking forward to the twins. Now then, I've forgotten what Twins Truth Council tonight. And essentially what we do is we promise to tell our truth as we see it, and we promise to enlighten you when you're in your lies. And tonight you'll find out about the higher aspect of this column of consciousness, which is that of the lover energy, which is your truth, which is on your Council of Truth. So if you want to find out more, join us at 7 o'clock tonight or thereabouts, depending on technology. And we truly look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for taking the time to be with us. Bye. And I stop that there. And you can all still see me and be entertained whilst I'm doing this. Bye.